Good morning, everyone. This is Sara from Blue Ridge Literacy. This is another lesson for U.S. citizenship. Today's lesson will be about equality and freedom. Freedom and individual rights are important values to Americans. However, in U.S. history, not everyone has had the same freedoms. One group that was discriminated against was African Americans. After the Civil War, they did not have the same schools, jobs, or housing as other Americans. Another group of people who did not have equal rights was women. For example, women did not have the right to vote. Voting, education, and being treated equally are civil rights. Again, voting, education, and being treated equally are civil rights. There were several social movements for civil rights in this country. Susan B. Anthony and Martin Luther King Jr. were two leaders who fought for civil rights. Susan B. Anthony fought for women's rights and civil rights. She wanted equal education and voting rights for women and African American people. She organized conventions and protests. She made speeches and published a newspaper about women's rights. She asked members of Congress to change the laws about voting. Susan B. Anthony died in 1906. In 1920, women got the right to vote. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a Baptist minister in Atlanta, Georgia. He was one important leader of the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement tried to end racial discrimination. One kind of discrimination was segregation. Segregation separated African Americans from other people in schools, restaurants, buses, and other public places. Dr. King gave speeches and organized marches to stop this. He made one famous speech, "I Have a Dream," in Washington, D.C. On April 4th, 1968, he was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. Every January, we remember him on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Let's review some of the civics questions covered in this quick lesson. Question 84. What movement tried to end racial discrimination? Civil rights. Question 85. What did Martin Luther King Jr. do? Fought for civil rights, or worked for equality of all Americans. Question 77. What did Susan B. Anthony do? Fought for women's rights. Fought for civil rights. That's all for today's quick lesson on equality and freedom. The two important people to remember for the U.S. citizenship test are Susan B. Anthony, who fought for women's rights and civil rights, and Martin Luther King Jr., who also fought for civil rights. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining.